What is up, everyone? Coach Joe here once again with another YouTube video, here to answer the most important question. Which basketball should you use? Not only am I going to break down which one you should use, I'm going to break down the basketballs to help you understand which one is the right one for your game, but also, is it worth the money? Let's get into it. So, first, there's about 575 different types of basketballs on the market right now. You've probably seen every single type of make, model, color, and style at your local gym before, during, or I guess in some states even after quarantine. But I'm here to break down which one is actually the right one, and most importantly, which one is worth the cost. So, starting first, my favorite of the bunch, and probably the basketball I would suggest the least for most of you, would be the Spalding Official NBA game ball. And I'm going to break down why I would not suggest this basketball for everyone. So first, this is the last season that the NBA is going to have Spalding as the official basketball for the NBA. 2021-2022 season is when the NBA is switching over to Wilson. Wilson will be doing the basketballs for the NBA, G League, WNBA, and the NBA Africa. I believe the WNBA, they've already switched the basketball over. I took a look at it. It's pretty sweet. I might eventually be getting that basketball. Looks really nice, and just training different, girls, I definitely want to have that basketball available. But let's get into this one. So first, one thing that's important about this basketball, this is from the David Stern commission era, which means this is a bit of a replica and a bit of a collector's item, if I do say so myself. But considering that, you're looking at the basketball and you're thinking, still bright orange, not really broken in. I haven't had the opportunity to break in this basketball as much as I would have liked, because I got this right at the beginning of quarantine and it's just been sitting at the house. But every time I get the opportunity to play with it, I take full advantage. Now the reason, because this basketball is going to take a long time to break in. This basketball is going to take well over a year of steady use indoor until you get it to the point where you want it. I've probably, realistically, even though I've had this for close to 2 years, in time on court, I've probably only had it for maybe 6 months, right? 6 months of dribbling on court, and it's getting real nice right now. The feel of it is something that you're gonna have to get used to at first. Compared to the other basketballs, all of those basketballs, you touch them, because of that composite material, it's almost like it's perfect and broken in already. This feels the total opposite. You're gonna grab this basketball and you're going to be looking at it and trying to understand why in this world this basketball costs almost $200 retail. The reason for that is that this is true leather. This basketball is going to peel, this basketball is going to crack, and when this basketball finally takes its true form and shape, it's going to be a real nice, soft feel. But most people feel this basketball and they hate it. They hate it because if your hands are dry, it's slippery. If your hands aren't kind of hot or kind of, wet to begin with, you're going to be losing this basketball. The feel on it is not going to be great. The bounce on it isn't going to be great. It sounds different when you bounce it on the ball, when you bounce it off the court. It spins different off of the glass. Everything about this basketball is kind of an adjustment period in the beginning because it's not like those basketballs at all. The Wilson basketballs, they're fairly consistent in bounce and feel, whether it be the Evolution, Solution, Evo. Even the Elite is very similar to the Evolution basketball in regards to bounce, touch, and feel. Even though all the panels are fairly even and you have that consistency, you're still going to get kind of the same touch and feel. This right here is far left of that, for me, in the best way possible. If you are a shooter, I don't care what level you're at, I would suggest being at least junior, senior level, high school, even early level college. If you consider yourself a shooter, grab one of these, because there is nothing that is going to expose your shooting form like an official NBA basketball. Because what you don't realize is that with those basketballs there, for shooters, we rely a lot on the touch and kind of the panels to hold, not necessarily hold that follow through, but push the ball through on that follow through. There's not a lot of room on these panels for your fingers to kind of get a good feel to where you can almost rely on that and not have to rely on your form. If your form is consistent with this basketball, it's going to go in. If it's not consistent, you're going to see what's wrong with your shot. If your shot fades to the right, if your shot fades to the left, if you shoot too far, too short, you're going to find out what's wrong with your shot very quickly with this basketball. But what I love about this ball is that over time, and what I mean by over time is that the more you play during that same session, if your hands start to sweat, the ball almost sticks to your hands. The feel of it is unlike any of the other basketballs. Even if you break those basketballs in and you get them at the perfect point, it's not going to feel as good as this basketball does when it's even somewhat brand new and you've got that perfect kind of feel for it. I mean, the consistency is going to be there. The touch and feel is going to be there. Over time, it's going to turn this dark brown leather couch color, and it's going to be real dope. It's going to be real nice. And I'm going to tell you what, you show up to the gym with this basketball, two thoughts. Either you really hoop or you're not that good at all. It's one or the other. You don't show up with this basketball and you can't play, or you don't show up with this basketball and you play just a little bit. Like, it's either I can hoop or I probably wear the jersey and short together set when I hoop. You're probably that person if you're showing up at this. Like, I wear headbands and arm sleeves when I hoop, not because I need to, just because I go for the look. If you bring this and can't play, like, that's the type of person that brings this basketball. This is not a joke. This is a real investment of a basketball. You're going to be spending a lot of money on this basketball, and it's going to take a lot of time to get this to where you want it to be, to where you feel not only comfortable using it, but you also feel comfortable playing with the basketball. Because it's one thing to just be out by yourself, catch, shoot free throws and get good with it. It's another thing to actually be dribbling with it, passing with it, learning how to throw bounce passes, learning how to finish with different layups and spins off of the backboard. I mean, this ball it's difficult in the beginning, and there's a learning curve to it for sure. But once you figure it out, it's hard to go back. And for me personally, I like to use this basketball is almost as a shooting aid in the beginning. If I can knock down shots with this, and I feel like my touch and form is good with this, because ultimately it has to be for these shots to go in. If I know we're going to be playing with those, automatic layup. Everything's a layup. Because with this, I have to rely on my form. With those, even if my form isn't on the way or isn't all the way on point, I can make up for it in my release. My form's going to be on point with there. So as long as my release is good, it's cash money all day long over there. Cash money, cash money all day long. But I mean, like I said, this is investment. So if you're not willing to put in the time for this basketball, and you're not really willing to put in the time, you know, to perfect your shot using this basketball, don't buy it. Get you a Wilson Evolution, you'll be straight. But if you're serious about it, and ultimately this is kind of you know, it's going to be kind of a collector's item, because next year Wilson's taking over and I don't know what type of material they're going to be using. My guess is that if it's going to be anything like the other basketballs that they have, the NBA is going to be switching over to a Wilson Evo basketball, which yeah, I might have to get another one of these. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like it. If you haven't yet, subscribe, join the Hoops crew. You'll be watching a whole bunch of other hoops related videos. There'll be plenty of content on the way. Thanks for watching, and peace.